Hello, beautiful, lovely people, and welcome to another quick recap of last week's game of Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostmaiden. He'll get the lowdown on our last game, so you can jump right into our next stream tomorrow at 6:30 PM. So, last we left off, Lucius and the Lightbringers were crouched in the snow, hiding from a gigantic snowy owl polar bear, hoping their mediocre stealth checks would protect them from having to fight this beautiful creature. Luckily, fate agreed, and the owlbear rolled even worse on its perception check. The party walked on safely to Caer Konig. On the approach to Caer Konig, the group admired the mountain beyond it, and shared some stories around this mountain known as Kelvins Can. It's a strange, lonely mountain surrounded by snow, but there doesn't seem to be anything magical or unusual about its origin, although it is commonly rumored to be the burial place of an immense frost giant. Upon arrival in Caer Konig, the party poked around the ruins of the Caer itself, but found nothing. They then decided that information naturally flows better with alcohol and head towards the tavern to ask some drunks some questions. On their way there, however, while discussing Barroth's missing family, an armoured figure leapt out of the snowdrift and attempted to beat Barroth around the head with a bottle. Barroth luckily avoided the blow, and the rest of the party managed to calm down the assailant, who was revealed to be a very drunk and very gregarious silver dragonborn named Trovus. Now, upon further inquiry, the party also discovered that Trovus taken it upon himself to locate some dwarven thieves who stole 2 goats, a pouch of pearls, and the lantern from the Northern Light Inn, a magical lantern that happens to have been forged from some strange, dark, glittering metal. The Lightbringers decided to join Trovus for a drink. Oster decided that Trovus should have water, and asked him more questions about these thieves. Their footprints were seen heading north towards the mountain, or past it, but other than that, Trovus knew little. He was enamored with the idea of the party's offer for help, and revealed himself to be the speaker of Caer Konig. Settling in for the evening, with no intention of chasing mysterious dwarven tracks out into the cold night, Lucius and Oster got out their instruments and had a little jam session. Oster, perhaps due to his fey nature and extremely lucky roll, played the lyre real good and made a tiny bit of money and earned Lucius eternal respect and friendship. The party then joined in on the closing event of the pub for the night, a drinking contest. Oster once again lucked out and managed to be the last man standing, winning another round of drinks. Stumbling, drunken, poisoned, and a little miserable, the party finally made their way to bed at the inn. In the late morning and during various hangovers, the party made their way to Frozen Far Expeditions, where they hired Jathra, a teeth-feeling scout, who might aid them in tracking the dwarven footprints. Very quickly, the Lightbringers were out in the snow on the back of a sled speeding along towards the mountain. After a few hours, however, the dwarven prints were replaced by the tracks of an ogre and a sled. Against everyone's better judgment, the party carried on, delving into the crags and ravines around the mountain's base, and were eventually led to a Durga Stronghold, deep in a ravine and backed against the mountainside. Here they did it for a little bit before agreeing that Barroth and Oster would take off their armor to sneak up to and into the stronghold, then find somewhere to put it back on within. After a particularly unpleasant crawl through a very small, claustrophobic, bat-infested waterway, the party put their armour back on at the bottom of a well before emerging into the stronghold. After destroying an undead ogre in the cage under a silence spell, I believe the phrase is like shooting fish in a barrel, the party snuck around exploring for a little while coming across a group of what Oster initially categorized as fungus zombies, once members of the Reghead Nomads. These bodies were now occupied and controlled by the spores of an underdark creature called a myconoid. A battle followed, wherein Tonarch went full Thor mode, throwing their maul and summoning it back to their hand as a manifestation of their most newest wild magic rage. Baroth got stuck in a room with a particularly stubborn spore servant, and the rest of the party attempted to not murder a Durga who heard the commotion. After Oster successfully commanded the Durga to kneel, the party knocked her out, tied her up, and put her in one of the cells. Some magical hijinks ensued as Oster tried to trick the Durga into thinking painful things would happen to her if she lied. Lucius tried to convince her he could hear her thoughts, and Tonarch tried to convince her the party were too stupid to worry about anyway, so why not just tell us your plans? Eventually, she talked, and the party sort of wished she hadn't. She revealed that King Sunblight is gathering Shardlin to himself forge a Shardlin dragon. This dragon were to destroy all life in 10 towns, and then take the Dark Land for the Durga. Sunblight's son, Prince Nildar, is here in the stronghold commanding the outpost, while a heist is about to take place in East Haven to steal a massive stash of Shardlin. But the Lightbringers had bigger, more immediate problems. Their captive's brother had snuck out during the fight and alerted the rest of the outpost, and now they were cornered and would have to fight their way out. Which is exactly where we'll pick up tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. GMT. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you to Izzy for writing up this little recap, and we are very excited to see you all tomorrow.